Do you think it's too late to make money with Airbnb in 2026? Or worse, are you watching everyone else do it while you're stuck on the sidelines, overthinking, overwhelmed, and unsure where to start? Here's the truth. It's not too late. You just need to do it the right way. We've been investing since 2015 and we're working on our 14th property right now. We also help everyday people turn Airbnbs into real income streams. In this episode, we'll show you why 2026 is a prime window to start and the simple strategies you can use to stand out, get booked, and generate serious cash flow. So if you're ready to stop sitting on the sidelines and start building financial freedom, let's jump in.
People ask us all the time, is it too late to make money with Airbnb? And the answer is no, Airbnb is not dead. It's not too late to invest and start making money. And right now is a particularly good time to invest in Airbnb. But why? Let's talk about today's market environment. According to AirDNA's Outlook report, 2026 will be the best year to invest in Airbnbs since 2021. Let's unpack that a little bit. First, market demand is increasing, right? 5% year over year, increasing demand on the Airbnb platform. So more people are looking for Airbnbs to stay in. Number two, according to Freddie Mac, mortgage rates are at the lowest they've been in 4 years. The lower the mortgage rate, the lower your monthly payment on Airbnb investment property and the more money you'll make. Third, the big beautiful bill that was signed into law in January of 2025 brought back 100% bonus depreciation, which means if you're putting $5,000 into your floors or a kitchen or bath remodel, you don't have to depreciate that over a long period of time. You can expense any of those upgrades right away.
Which makes me very, very happy. Are you excited to hear about why it's a good time to invest in Airbnbs, but still afraid you won't stand out against competition in the market you're interested in? Great news. There are 4 easy ways to make sure you're at the top of the Airbnb stack, even if you're starting right now. We also created a free Airbnb profit calculator to help you know if a potential Airbnb will make you money in about 5 minutes. Click on the link below to access this amazing tool that helps you move forward with confidence and get one step closer to generating cash flow with your Airbnb investment.
And you can always let us know if you need a little help with that.
That's true.
All right, way number one to be at the top of Airbnb search results is to use dynamic pricing. Most Airbnb investors are not using any form of dynamic pricing. So they have set prices for weekdays and weekends on their calendar. Why do you care? This means if you launch your Airbnb using a tool like Price Labs, the prices each day of your calendar based on the market demand, you are already ahead of 70 to 85% of hosts already in the game. That's a huge advantage.
It's actually mind-blowing to me that such a small amount of hosts use Price Labs because I feel like we talk about it on every single episode.
Every day, I do at least.
Absolutely. All right, way number 2, create a pet-friendly Airbnb. 86.9 million US households in 2026 own a pet. So that's roughly 66% of the population. That's a huge number. And guess what? Most people prefer to travel with their pets instead of putting them in a kennel or finding a pet sitter.
It's expensive.
Us included. On the flip side, only 27% of US Airbnbs allow pets. So if you think about it, this creates a huge mismatch between potential guests who want to travel with their pets and the number of Airbnbs available for them to book. Hopefully these numbers help you understand just how powerful being pet-friendly is on the Airbnb platform. If you're not pet-friendly, that means 66% of guests looking to book a place and bring their pet will never see your listing. You're invisible. So be smart, capitalize on this huge market need, and make your Airbnb pet-friendly.
Pro tip, this option only works if you have the appropriate flooring. We prefer luxury vinyl planking, for example, not carpet, and have a great housekeeper. If you can't afford to change your flooring right now, save a percentage of your profits to make the swap and then change your status to pet friendly. It feels amazing to let guests fund the improvements in your Airbnb, especially ones that bring you more guests and more revenue.
100%.
And you can feel free to charge a pet fee to help offset any additional cleaning costs associated with pet hair. Personally, we charge $20 per stay, and many hosts charge much more.
Yeah, it's personal preference. Some people charge like $100 per pet.
Less than a kennel.
Yeah, it's still less than a kettle. So a different way to make a little bit more money with your pet-friendly Airbnb. All right, way number three, you need to achieve guest favorite status as soon as possible. So, most people are familiar with the concept of superhost, and that used to be the old standard of Airbnb success. But to be honest, now that's a pretty low bar. The new goal as an investor is to become a guest favorite. So, what is guest favorite? If you don't know, it's what the name says. You get this fun little badge from Airbnb if your property is one of the favorite places guests visit in your area. Guest favorite properties are highly favored by the Airbnb algorithm, to the point where if you are looking at a place and you go to page 2 of search results, guest favorite listings from as far away as other towns show up, and the entire map zooms out to show these properties over non-guest favorite Airbnbs in the same location you are searching.
Yeah, and you can try this for yourself. Search any market, any dates. Usually 90% of the first page results are guest favorite.
And I actually filter by guest favorite when we're looking for a place to stay. So if you're not a guest favorite, I and the other people searching this way will also never see your listing. It's super important.
So the criteria for guest favorite is property specific, unlike Superhost, which applies to you as the host. So each individual property has the opportunity for guest favorite. And it's pretty simple, straightforward to get there. You have to have at least 5 reviews from guests. And usually the average rating of about 4.9 stars. It changes a little bit for each market, but that's where we see it kick in. And receiving high ratings on all the subcategories that guests review for your property, like value and cleanliness, etc. The other nice thing is that if you already have a listing, it seems that Airbnb is applying kind of a rolling average based on recency. So don't feel like if you're at a 4.8, you're never going to get there. Just step it up and start racking up those 5-star reviews now.
Absolutely. And are you curious how guest favorite is managed and awarded by Airbnb? Basically, Airbnb evaluates homes daily, and the guest favorite badge is awarded based on this complex algorithm that considers factors like overall star rating, guest feedback, and consistency in providing a positive experience. Not hard.
It just really boils down to having a great housekeeper, keeping it clean, clean, clean. If it's sparkling clean, you're going to get those 5-star reviews. The second piece it boils down to is hospitality. Just be a great host, right? Go the extra mile. Think of yourself as the manager at the front desk of the Ritz-Carlton and be super hospitable.
Yeah. Care about your guests. Homes are compared to other homes globally and also within your specific market. And the cool thing is the guest favorite badge is automatically applied and updated every 24 hours. This is great for new hosts because you're eligible for the status after your 5th review. So you can make this a very early launch goal. If you're still really curious about all the ins and outs of how to become guest favorite, we did a deep dive into the 9 specific areas you should focus on to become a guest favorite back in episode 67. So scroll back and give it a listen.
All right, the combination of these first 3 things, dynamic pricing, pet friendly, and guest favorite, will elevate your listing to the top 10% of all listings. That's how to avoid saturation. There's one more easy way to supercharge your Airbnb listing to hit the top 1% of listings in your market. All you need to do is install an EV charger. EV chargers are in high demand because 3.3 million electric cars are in the US and very few Airbnbs offer them. Installing one sets you apart from almost every other listing in the market. I've always thought EV chargers cost a bazillion dollars, but fortunately, they're not as expensive as you might think. The ChargePoint EV charger that we buy from Amazon is like $485. There's also a cost associated with an electrician to install it, pulling the electric for the charger, all in at approximately $1,000 to make your Airbnb stand out to the millions of potential guests with electric vehicles.
It's super cool and super easy. So to recap, if you are a guest favorite Airbnb, use a dynamic pricing tool, and have an EV charger, that automatically puts you in the top 1% of listings in the markets we've researched, meaning you are shown at the top of Airbnb search results, book more, and therefore can charge more. It's beautifully simple, and so few things are beautifully simple in life. As Airbnb coaches and Airbnb revenue managers, we help people from all over the world and all walks of life gain financial freedom from their Airbnb investment. If they can do it, you can do it. And the proof is in the pudding. Let's quickly talk about 3 real-life clients of ours who have very recently launched their Airbnbs.
So our friend Ruth turned her primary residence in Australia into a phenomenal Airbnb. She went from listening to our podcast to launching her place in 3 weeks.
It's crazy, but it's true.
So during Ruth's first few months, she was delighted to be making $3,000 to $4,000 a month. But now that she's established the listing with guest favorite status, she's on track to make $7,000 to $8,000 a month from her investment.
In 3 weeks. It's just unbelievable. If you're wondering how she made such a fast and successful leap into Airbnb investing, little bit of a humble brag here. She listened to this podcast and engaged us as Airbnb coaches to make sure she did exactly the right things to set herself up for success with zero time or money wasted. Example number 2 is Tammy and Billy. They bought a cabin in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and made $73,000 in their first 6 months. Why? Because they took the time to educate themselves, learn about what worked for Airbnbs in their specific area, and had us as coaches to ensure when they launched their Airbnb, they were primed for success right out of the gate. We also do revenue management for them to make sure they achieve maximum occupancy and cash flow. That way they can focus on their 9-to-5 jobs, guest communications, and their grandkids.
Also, Mike is an awesome guy renting his basement as an Airbnb in Berkeley, California. While he lives upstairs with his partner and daughter, his profits almost cover his $1 million mortgage. Mike just launched a new Airbnb last month, a long-term rental that he had converted after seeing how successful his basement was. All 3 of those examples are normal people, truck drivers, commercial builders, and tech execs, people who are young and single, parents or grandparents, not real estate moguls or billionaires with huge teams supporting them.
Each investor in Airbnb is unique, and it brings us so much joy to help people find their market, pick their perfect place, decorate, set up their listings with our tech stack, and all the typically overlooked nuances that make a huge impact when their Airbnbs launch. We nerd out over this stuff.
So there you have it. You now know why the market environment is ideal for making an Airbnb investment right now. You also learned 4 easy ways to make sure your Airbnb is on top of search results in your market so you can maximize your cash flow the minute you launch. If you feel like you or someone you know could use some help on the Airbnb investing journey, that's what we do. Head over to hostcoach.co to book a free 30-minute coaching call with us. And remember,
Our joy is in your success.